You know what I have noticed? The society doesn't want real people. And what do I mean about this? I mean, society wants robot thinking. And what do I mean about that? I mean, about since we're kids, right, in school, we're taught to think one way only. We can only get one way of answers. And if we get the same answer but a different way that we understand it, is a zero because what happens? Because it's not the way that they want us to get the answers, right? So they program us to, it's only one way of getting answers. It's only one way of thinking, right? They they also raised us to, you had to raise your hand. You had to have the same thought. You had to get married in a certain timeline. They give us they give us these fake timelines, right? They brainwash us as kids thinking that we had to go to college as soon as we finish high school, right? That's a timeline. That's robot thinking. We had to get a good job. We had to have kids and get married in a certain amount of time. And it's like, that's robot thinking. And at work, what happens at work? At work, we are also robot thinking because we get this job, right? And somebody made up their own system, right? But then they're not there all the time. And the employees who are working there realize the system that they started doesn't work or doesn't make sense. So they try to find other ways that make sense to the person who's actually doing the job, and they get in trouble for it. You're not following what it's supposed to. It doesn't really matter as long as it gets the job done. It does. That's what it should be. But no, they want A to Z, the same step that they get. Well, are you doing the job? No, you're not. So you don't know what works and what doesn't work. Anyway, that's robot thinking. I know sometimes people say, oh, but that's the corporation, that's their job, you sign up for it, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I can understand that. And I can understand that every place has rules. Totally understand that, right? But my problem is when somebody doesn't think the way that the steps the way that they want us to do it doesn't make sense to you, right? So you find other ways, right, to do your job. And I know a lot of people have done that. I know you have done it. To stop lying to yourself. You know you have done it. You know you're at work and you find a different way, but you don't tell everybody else. You just pretend that you do it the book way, the book that your job told you to do. I know you're doing it your way, but you're being hush hush. Oh, I know. Trust me, I know. Anyway, that's robot thinking. Also, parents had teach their kids that you need to, since we're kids, right? We're thinking to do everything one way, right? So then it goes in generations to generations of thinking the same way. And what I mean about that, I mean about most parents nowadays, I'm not going to say all, but most parents also put the kids, you had to join a activity after school activity. You have to do this exercise. You had to get straight A's. Because if you don't get straight A's, what happens? You're not going to go to college. Oh, this and that. That is robot thinking. Robot thinking, what I mean is like, it's only one way and one way only. Like if you are bad at school, you're going to be bad at life. Which that's not true at all. But it makes you put in your head that they brainwash you into the head to thinking if you were bad in school, you're going to be bad in life. So you end up not trying. You get what I'm trying to say? So you end up getting depression because, oh, I was not good at school, blah, blah, blah. But no, that's robot thinking. Society rewards robot thinking and don't like when people think for themselves, question things, be weird, have a different opinion, different perspective. People don't like that because they got brainwashed from society to think that it's only one way of living life. And that's my thoughts about society and robot thinking. And that's you know, that's what I think anyway. Have a great day. Enjoy your day and have fun. Just have fun.